The Trump administration is pitching tax cuts to ease the economic damage caused by COVID-19. Now, the markets don't like uncertainty. Obviously, there has been limited travel as a result of COVID-19. All these things play into what we've been experiencing in the stock market, which is complete and utter volatility. Now, Trump wants to ease the economic burdens, not on average Americans, but more importantly to him, on companies, corporations, and what he says, small businesses. But let's see if he's actually going to follow through on looking out for small businesses. Here is his presser where he talks about possible payroll tax cuts.
We're going to be meeting with House Republicans, Mitch McConnell, everybody, and discussing a possible payroll tax cut or relief, substantial relief, very substantial relief. That's a big number. We're also going to be talking about hourly wage earners getting help so that they can be in a position where they're not going to ever miss a paycheck. We're going to be working with companies and small companies, large companies, a lot of companies, so that they don't get penalized for something that's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's not our country's fault. Also, we're going to be seeing small business administration and creating loans for small businesses.
So the answer for Trump has been, in every economic issue, more loans, more debt, take on more debt. By the way, one of the biggest issues right now with corporations in America is that they lack liquidity. They've taken on way too much debt. This is something that the Federal Reserve is constantly warning about and then simultaneously cutting interest rates and encouraging people to take on more debt. So I don't really get what's going on with the Federal Reserve. It's been a disaster.
So two things about it. First, on the debt, remember, Trump thinks the answer to everything is debt because that's all he's ever done in his life, hence the 6 bankruptcies. Because what he does is he borrows a lot of money and then he has a brilliant idea. Oh, how about I don't pay it back? Because he's spoiled, he's been able to get away with that for a long time. He was out of business until the Russians rescued him. And actually, there's a great question as to whether they co-signed his loans, the last set of loans he got at Deutsche Bank. But until then, his business model was borrow money and just don't pay it back. Okay, so when he looks at the US, he probably thinks, well, that's the only thing I know. The second thing is we used to joke around about how everything for the Republicans was tax cuts. Whatever your problem was, oh, you twisted your ankle, don't worry, tax cuts, right? You lost a big football game, don't worry, tax cuts, right? Now it's not a joke anymore. This is like an Onion article. So we've got COVID-19, a pandemic that's ripping through the world, and they're like, oh, we got a perfect solution, tax cuts. Okay, now look, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do a stimulus package. I understand why, and let me explain it to you. So if you're the airlines, people will stop flying. I stopped flying, I get it, right? So at some point, you're gonna need to figure out how to help those folks. The big stadiums, people have stopped coming to the stadiums. They're starting to shut down the stadiums. So yes, you do need, I hope at some point, a stimulus package to address this for big businesses, small businesses, et cetera. Now, the reality is Anna's right, the Federal Reserve's out of bullets. We're gonna talk more about that later. And all these companies stacked up way too much debt to begin with, so they're in a precarious position, even though they just got $2 trillion in tax cuts, they blew it on what? Themselves, executive pay, stock buybacks, et cetera. But in the midst of a medical disaster, I'm not sure that the right priority is to come out to tell everyone, don't worry, I know you're worried about getting sick, but we got tax cuts for businesses.
I know, it's incredible. It's incredible, like the messaging is off to say the least, but it also, again, provides more evidence of what Donald Trump's #1 priority is. And it is himself. At the end of the day, it is himself. Because he knows that if the stock market suffers, he can't cite the stock market in trying to make this case that the US economy is strong and that he's really helped it. And if he can't make that argument, he's less likely to get reelected. It all comes back to Donald Trump. He doesn't care about your life. He doesn't care about the farmers who are committing suicide right now thanks to the ramifications of his drug war. I'm not drug war, his trade war. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. What he cares about is whether or not it's going to positively or negatively impact him. That's it.
100%. That's why when he should be sounding the alarm, in a measured way and telling people what they need to do and not do with the outbreak happening. Instead, he blithely tells people to go to work, which they should not do if they think they have the disease. He at least made it seem like it was no big deal if you went to work. Don't do that. That's not the right medical advice. And then he put out this tweet. He said the fake news media and their partner, the Democrat Party, is doing everything with its semi-considerable power, it used to be greater, to inflame the COVID-19 situation far beyond what the facts would warrant. So he's basically doing a conspiracy theory that the Democrats and the media have conspired to create this panic about this disease. And stock market, don't worry, they're lying to you. Stay high so I could win re-election. Now, if you don't take precautions because I called it fake news and you get sick, hey, that ain't me, brother. That's on you. If you're stupid enough to believe Donald Trump, he's thinking, well, then you had it coming. If you're stupid enough to give to his charity, he stole from you. If you're stupid enough to attend his university, he robbed you. He had to pay settlements on both of those because he did rob people, okay? And now he thinks if you're stupid enough to vote for me and believe me, well, then you had COVID-19 coming for you. I just need my power to stay where it is. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.